From NBC News, DOJ charges man with sending threatening letter to pro-Trump influencer Benny Johnson. Pam Bondi announced the charges at a news conference in which Johnson argued that violence had been mainstreamed by the Democrat Party. I have received a plethora of death threats myself and have been in contact directly with the FBI over them, answering questions about what is currently going on, because we are getting a large amount. One was very particular, credible, and there's a little bit. It's basically, I don't want to read through it because I don't want to compromise any of their investigation. But they said that they were going to come here and they were going to turn me into what Charlie Kirk is. My point in the previous segment, for those that are just tuning in now, Joe Rogan recently made a comment saying, have a heart. These ICE policies don't work. If someone's been here for 20 years, just let them stay. My personal opinion, with all due respect to Joe, is that, and this guy backed Trump. Trump is using military now. He used the Marines and the National Guard in California to shut down child slavery on a marijuana farm and to defend federal buildings. Now, I think it is morally clear. California had child slave labor on pot farms.
That's right.
If Trump wants to send in the Marines to go do that, I stand and applaud shutting down child slavery that has been allowed to run rampant. But Democrats are claiming it's Nazism. It is the SS. It is the Gestapo coming in, hunting people down in their homes, kidnapping their neighbors and black bagging them. Mm-hmm. And I think Joe, a very smart man, recognizes more than most what is currently happening in this country. So when he says, have a heart and let him stay, he's engaging in what I have referred to as to play on Pascal's wager. We can call it Trump's wager. Or maybe Seamus come up with a better name for it. Seamus, do you want to explain Pascal's wager real quick for everybody?
Yeah, so there's some nuance to it because it existed in like a very specific cultural and historic context. But the general idea, the way it's usually expressed now, is if you have to bet, you're forced to choose one position or the other, and you can choose to believe God exists or you can choose to believe that he doesn't exist. If you believe that he exists, you will benefit because you'll go to heaven. You'll also have lived a good life if you truly live like he actually existed. If you don't believe in him, you'll go to hell if he's not real, or if he is real, sorry. But if he's not real, there's no benefit to you. That's basically... So again, when it's used, that was a specific time when it was like literally a country where it was like Catholicism versus atheism, because atheists will go like, well, why are there only two choices?
The argument is
we won't get into all of it.
If God exists and I believe in him, I go to heaven. If God exists and I don't, I go to hell. If God doesn't exist, it doesn't matter. Either way, so you might as well just believe he exists because it's the only real threat you face.
Yeah.
Hell or nothing. Mm-hmm. So in politics, we can come up with a term for it. I forgot what I called it, but it's this wager. If you are on the left and the right wins, you are totally fine because the right is not going to go and gulag their political opponents.
That's right.
If you are on the right and the right wins, congratulations, you've won. If you're on the left and the left wins, congratulations, you've won. If you are on the right and the left wins, you will be put in a gulag. So if you are trying to avoid politics, the best thing you can do is just be on the left. Because when the right wins, if they do, you're fine. And so I see Joe's commentary over the past couple of weeks, and it seems very much... Hey, whoa, I'm actually on the left, guys. I'm backing away from this. This is getting crazy. This is getting scary. I think Joe recognized what time it is. He's having a lot of comedians on his podcast. And I will say this too, not that it means anything, but when we reached out to him to let him know a month in advance that I was going to be in Austin, he passed. So there have been a lot of critiques over him having on a lot of personalities that are either pro-left, leaning left, or not commenting in the space and not having anyone on to counter that narrative.
This is a world without morality or principles, though, that you're describing. I mean, if we're going to live in that world, then nothing has meaning and nothing matters. Tim, I am absolutely certain if the Democrats get power, they'll try to put me back in prison. They'll try to put you in prison.
Agreed.
They'll try to put Trump in prison.
Yeah, there's no question.
That's what the stakes is, and Pascal's wager notwithstanding, I'm siding with what is right, with a small r, and what is best for this country and what this country stands for. And if we're going to be, I mean, I went to prison. Okay, it's like people here people in this country, they got to stand up for what they believe in, or we lose this country, Tim. That's what it's all about.
I don't know if I have the post on X, but I never posted this video from Egypt before until this past week. I think I was in Phoenix when I posted it, so let me see if I can pull it up. But I think I just posted a photo of it. People genuinely don't understand that what we are witnessing right now, I mean, you go outside and everything seems fine, and you're like, oh, what's the big deal, right? Actually, I want to show you this too, so I can tell you what time it is. So let's start here. Someone threatened to kill Benny Johnson. The DOJ went after him. This is good news. But take a look at this. Benny posted this. Democrat Virginia AG candidate Jay Jones, who openly called for the murder of Republicans and their children, has taken a major hit in the polls. Miyares is up 6. They were just about tied before. And so Jones has dropped about 3 points. If you're a Democrat and it is exposed that you said the children of Republicans should be murdered, and that if you had the option, you would kill the Republican speaker over Hitler, you lose only 3 points.
It gets even worse than that. If you say people shouldn't kill children before they're born, you will lose every single vote in the Democratic Party.
But is this a function of the illiteracy of too many folks not paying attention, or being fed that story in a way which made it seem like it wasn't as big a deal? I mean, that's the problem with the media.
Or they agree with
Let's take a look at this one.
Or they agree with him. Yeah.
Andrew Kovac tweeted this. Less than a month removed from Charlie's assassination in Utah, the Salt Lake Tribune published this cartoon entitled The Hole in the Head Gang, depicting a wanted poster with elected officials from the state with a red scarf around their necks and some numbers, I guess. Rep. Mike Kennedy, Celeste Moy, Burgess Owens, for failure to honor their oaths and protect and defend the Constitution from dictatorial whims of a malignant clown. Your Utah reps. This is him calling for them to be murdered. That's what time it is in this country. And I'm scrolling down to try and find this because I posted this photo a couple weeks ago, and I'll grab it. I have to go back in time pretty far to find it. Seamus, say something funny.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's not going to be funny.
Come on, comedy man, make us laugh.
This just kind of goes back to the thing that I was saying earlier, which is the left has essentially always existed to justify like the slaughter of innocent people and children and Christian children.
But the left in the U.S. hasn't
hasn't been like
this since possibly since the 60s and like late 60s, early 70s. Well, it really kind of went to sleep. And you had a sense, at least, and when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, you had a sense that everybody kind of agreed about basic Americanism, right? You didn't have people that came out and openly hated the United States, or at least they weren't really well known. They weren't given
but
positions that you knew about.
Well, and this is my point. They've only not done this when they've been marginalized. So at that time, the culture was on the side of shunning people who said that they hated America, shunning people who called for
Let's be clear, though,
violence.
this is a numbers game. I mean, Shane mentioned the Weather Underground, right? Mm-hmm. I was like 19, 20 in college when that was going on. It like hits pretty close to home. Mm. And the people I knew who were on the left, they didn't side with that stuff. That was like, what the hell's going on? The problem now is if you look at the Manami numbers in New York, the guy's polling close to 50%. And the things he stands for are batshit crazy.
Yeah, antithetical to
batshit crazy.
I just pulled the video up. Let's play this video. Here you go, everybody. Here's Egypt.
And this is during.
This is the day of the Second Revolution. So let's pull it up again. So this is the day of the Second Revolution. Actually, I think this is a couple days before the Second Revolution. No, this might be the day of. You can see there's a large crowd in Tahrir. Other than that, everything else was operating as normal. Cars were driving around. You can see that here's the beautiful Nile River with boats. Look at that. People are on this boat. How beautiful is that? Crossing over the bridge. What do people expect to see? Buildings exploding and fire
They expect
everywhere.
it to look like Gaza right now. That's what they expect.
They don't understand that what you're concerned about is limited. Actually, I'll put it this way. You ever see that like those science videos where they're like, did you know if you took every human on Earth and clumped them into a ball, it would barely fill Chicago or something like that? They seem to think that humans are in literally every square inch of the planet. And when fighting happens, it's like that scene from Kingsman where everyone in the church is fighting each other. Instead of most people just living their lives like normal. And then you know what it'll be like if a civil war were to happen in this country? We'd be sitting here being like, so the fences got torn down at the ICE facility and rioters attacked federal law enforcement. When reporters went, they got arrested by oh, wait. The stories are going to be like that. Now, granted, to be fair, we're more likely in a bleeding Kansas type scenario, which was the precursor. We saw this with the Andrew Yang saying he was going to move to Georgia to affect their political, structures or whatever back in, 2020? So that was very much bleeding Kansas. We see the riots. But now we are very much dangerously close to a more of a Fort Sumter scenario where Trump is trying to take command of state National Guards to enforce federal law, and they are resisting. It's not just one state anymore. It's not just some states in the South facing the civil rights era. This is 50-50, as you were mentioning, Peter. And we are now looking at the entirety of the left youth not caring about what we want because our Constitution is garbage to them. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.